guys, and welcome to Tnashi's Movie Corner. Okay, so we have another movie matchup for you guys. I know it's been a while, but we have another one coming at you, and I have Thor versus
the 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
What the crap? Who the hell are you?
You know who I am.
That's very cryptic. They don't know who you are. They can't tell. Oh, wait. No, they probably can't tell. It's Brad, everybody. Say hi, Brad.
Hey, everyone.
Okay, good intro, Brad. So we're going to get right into it here. We're going to discuss it. I am obviously defending the mighty Thor here. I think that's the better movie. I mean, come on. There's no real argument. I mean, come on.
Say what?
There's really, well, we get into that. But in order to get into this, we have a series of questions that are going to be asked by a certain gentleman who's decided to help out with this tournament. Let's see who that is.
What is up, my movie fanatics? Dr. Movie 91 here, and I want to give a quick thank you to Tnashi's Movie Corner. Bro, this is awesome. I've always been a huge fan of your movie matchups. I love hearing the debates, all the research that goes into it. I always seem to learn something new. But both of these movies to me mean a lot, actually. I grew up watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and to me, nothing will ever replace that 90s feel, man. Like, I just love the 90s. I grew up in the 90s, and I remember going to the theaters with my parents and just going wild. And if it wasn't for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I would have never really got into Thor. I never read him in the comics growing up, but when I saw this movie, I knew I had to know more about Thor. It really captured me, and it kind of opened up my eyes to the comic book world, and I really appreciate that. So you know what, Doc? That's enough rambling. Let's get on to these questions for these guys. First question for you guys are about villains. Now, villains have a huge role, whether it's in the comics, the movies, the shows. They're the reason why these heroes are fighting. So my question for you guys is, which villain poses a bigger threat to your heroes and why?
Okay, this one's real simple. Loki is the greater threat than, Shredder, because he's barely in the damn movie. Loki is clearly the greater threat to these heroes, to Thor, because he's conniving, he's mischievous. He does all this stuff from the shadows, kind of pulling strings and everything to end up getting Thor boot out of Asgard and lose his hammer, and he tries to kill Thor, so there's that too. He sets up the frost giants to enter into kind of a battle, with the Asgardians. Again, his plan was to turn on them, but that's how many his plan has so many different layers. But he wants to be the ruler. He wants to be the next in line. And we see clearly that he's not suitable for the job, but he thinks he is. And that's really when he thinks that he deserves this, when he thinks he's in such the right to have someone like that come at you and try to do all this stuff. He's obviously the worst villain and the biggest threat.
I think you're incorrect about that. Shredder, yes, he may be a little less hands-on, but he is presented as a much bigger overarching threat. He was taking the youth of New York and he was brainwashing them into thinking that their families, they don't fit in with them, they don't connect with them, and that he a surrogate family together, and he leads them astray. He's teaching them martial arts, and he's like giving them anything that they want, but they're not realizing that they're just criminals. That's all, and all that they're doing is just benefiting Shredder. So he has this he's kind of turning these people into his own makeshift cult. But the thing is, though, too, is that he is a powerful fighter. He is a master martial artist. So he can hold his own in combat. And he also represents everything that the Turtles are kind of against, because where they have honor, he does not. And he kind of has that polar effect going along with them.
All right, so that ends question one. Let's see what's next.
Question number 2 is about origin stories. For me personally, an origin story is very important. And it tells you why that hero became a hero. Why are they fighting for the greater good? So my question is, what makes your hero's origin story unique from the rest?
Okay, again, I feel like this is a pretty easy one for me as far as what makes my hero's origin story unique. Well, it's simple. It's because his origin story actually he had everything. Like from the movie, we see him literally with everything. He's got the royalty. He obviously got the looks. I mean, he's got the power because he's got the position. Of being the next in line and everything. Everything is given to him, and he takes that for granted. So what happens? He's literally stripped of all his powers. He's stripped of his title. He's stripped of everything, cast aside to this realm. He has to learn from all these mistakes and really come to not only accept responsibility in a way, but he's got to understand that there's more to it than just the power. There's more to it than just the title, that you have to be there for the people. He has to show these certain traits that allow the hammer to come back to him so that he can become a hero. So his actual origin story as a hero, he's not a hero at the beginning. He's just a selfish royal brat, and that's given everything. And it's through all this that he becomes a hero. But what about you?
I think what makes my movie's heroes like more unique in their origin story is the fact that their origin is actually a journey, and it's that ooze that they don't even understand what it is that transformed them into what they are. But they start off almost like newborn infants, the turtles do, and then this rat that's already been through so much takes them as his sons, and starts to teach them everything that he remembers watching from his master all the way back in Japan. So it wasn't something that they just kind of more or less easily got into. It was something that they actually really built up over years worth of time. Their origin was more or less an odyssey of sorts because of everything that Splinter went through to get where he was now. And that's what he brought with him to teach these turtles when they were starting off.
All right, let's see what question number 3 is.
Question number 3. Now, all heroes need to be able to fight or use their superpowers successfully to be able to stop that villain. And when it comes to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Thor, they both have very unique fighting styles. My question is, why is your hero's fighting style so unique? What makes it unique? Why did your hero pick that sort of fighting style?
You see him use this hammer, using a hammer as it's a really strong hammer. He can create earthquakes. He can spin it really fast to launch himself far, like really far out there, which is kind of crazy and would give me a headache. But he calls upon, lightning and everything to use that against opponents and all that. And again, it's strong on its own, so it can knock the crap out of somebody. I mean, literally knock the crap out of them. So I feel like it's kind of easy there for his fighting style, because at least within the Marvel movie cinematic universe and even DC so far, we don't see anyone utilize a hammer as their weapon, and that's pretty much all he's got is the hammer and then armor. So, what about you?
And for my turtles, their fighting style is a lot more humble than that. But there's
You like
a
to
great
just
thing
dig
about
at my
that.
movie.
It's the thing is, the turtles were taught, obviously they were taught martial arts, they were taught ninjutsu, how to use these weapons, but they were taught how to do it stealthily, and they were taught how to do it without causing any like serious harm to an opponent. It's about being like silent, quick, and efficient, and just taking out an opponent by rendering them helpless, but not by like maiming them or crushing them or anything about that. There's a sense of restraint and honor that is within this fighting style that was incorporated into them. And the thing is too, as a family, they were designed to have different aspects, so that if they were to come together as a team, they could bring that all their unique characteristics together as one cohesive fighting unit, and they would be nearly invincible like that, because they would rely upon each other and each other's strengths.
Yeah,
to work together.
But how unique are their fighting styles really? I mean, they're ninjas. Like, I think I've seen that before.
Have you now?
Yeah, I've seen ninjas before. G.I. Joe. I mean, they're kind of heroes. They're not superheroes, but they're heroes.
I'm sorry, but Thor is a god, and there are how many gods?
How many gods that use hammers?
Mm.
Ah!
I don't know. I mean, there's
Right. Yeah, keep thinking, buddy.
Question number 4 is about family. Both of these movies focus heavily on families. So what does family mean to your superhero?
Family's important not only because of how they interact with you and how they interact with Thor, how they interact with each other, but because of this leadership responsibilities that get taken on because of this royalty position that they're thrown into. And you know, this entire movie is basically about a younger brother who feels like he hasn't been given enough, that it feels like he is kind of pushed aside, and so that's comes into play so much. And Thor and his relationship are a very big focus point in this movie. So I do think you get that across, where Thor doesn't even realize how much his brother has been kind of pushed aside, how much his brother feels like he's in this position because he's been focused solely on himself. And when he does realize this, that's when he apologizes for anything that he may have done to let Loki get to this point, and saying that, you know, I wasn't there enough for you when I should have been. So I feel like it's very important to this movie. What about you?
I feel like, well, my family dynamic in this movie is actually a twofold thing. There's like the dynamic between fathers and sons, and then between siblings. Because we have early on where Splinter is trying to impart, you know, words of wisdom upon his sons. And of course, at the beginning, they don't really appreciate it so well. You know, he tries to teach them like to meditate, and then they turn on the music and start dancing around.
Yeah, they do.
He talks to Raphael about his anger and how his anger could overwhelm him, could, you know, destroy him, and that he needs to learn how to like let it go.
Let it go, let it go. Jag ska stiga lik solen må.
There's this dynamic with the runaway Danny with his father, you know, and how he feels like his father doesn't understand him and that he doesn't connect with his father. But he learns to rethink that relationship because of his talk with Splinter. And then we have this inner dynamic between siblings because, you know, Leonardo and Raphael, they butt heads a lot in the beginning. They just kind of argue, they fight, you know, they don't seem to see eye to eye so well. But then once Raphael gets hurt, they kind of rethink that, and it's like, you know, yeah, we're different people, but we're still brothers, and there's that bond between us, and that we have to stick together and support each other. And so this film actually does a lot about the family dynamic, and, you know, and how these relationships should be.
All right, so with that, we are going into the final question. Let's see what it is.
And the last question is, we see a object, whether it's a weapon, a shield, something that defies the characteristics of a superhero. My question is, does the weapon of your superhero defy their characteristics? If they lost that particular weapon, could they still hold up in a fight and potentially save the day?
Okay, so as far as to whether his weapon defies his characteristics, I think I've already established that, right? I kind of said that earlier on. Yeah, it does. It really does. It fits him spot on. It makes absolute perfect sense for him to have the hammer as his weapon of choice. So, next part of that, if he lost his weapon, could he still save the day? No. No, he couldn't. Sorry. I think we've seen how that panned out. In fact, I may have a clip here to show you just how that was going to pan out without his weapon, because I don't think he could. What is he going to do? He's going to get a kitten out of a tree. I guess that kind of saved the day, maybe. Die? He was going to die. That was going to save the day for hopefully everyone else, was he's just going to kick the bucket and hope that his brother held his end of the bargain, because his brother has been so trustworthy up to this point, right? Yeah. So he kind of needs his weapon. Not going to lie. He does. Can't get far with just abs and good looks. Or at least that's what they tell me.
I'm sure
So,
they do.
Yes, always.
No!
Anyway, so what about you? Do you think so?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you think. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Obviously, I think their weapons do, because like it's hard to put into words, but yes, it seems like each of the turtles' weapons suit their personality types, you know, and they also suit their profession as being, you know, ninjas, and I went into all that earlier. But would they be able to save the day without their weapons? Well, technically, I suppose you could say they didn't save the day with their weapons.
No, they didn't.
You know, it took Splinter to win that one. So I guess in that sense, if you consider Splinter to be one of the heroes, then yeah, you know,
Right.
and I think that was
that
something
was a rat. So we're not counting the rat.
not counting the rat and
You
Ninja
know,
Turtles.
no, we're not. Yeah, exactly. It's called Ninja freaking Turtles. Like, we're not gonna count the rat. Or did the Ninja Turtles win with their weapons? No, they did not. So I definitely don't think they were gonna win without their weapons. By the way, I feel like they're kind of overcompensating with some of those weapons, because as turtles they seem to lack a certain thing. I feel like that's what it's happening here. You got a sword, you got a long stick, you got a short blade, and you got nunchucks.
You are taking this to a
You
weird
got
place.
nunchucks. Just helicopter. Never mind.
Don't even finish that.
I'm not finishing it.
Helicopter dig, go helicopter dig. Helicopter dig. All right. To impress a chick, do the helicopter dig.
So I feel like we're probably about even on this one, yeah?
I think so too.
Thor would totally save a cat, though.
Let's save a cat.
He would.
I don't think Thor cares about cats.
He would save a cat. Your guys would scare the cat.
They can't help it.
Hell, the
They're
cat.
giant turtles. It's not their fault.
The cat would see Splinter and just have a heart attack, because at that point, that thing can eat him. He's like, what the hell? What kind of world is this?
Jeez.
I'm just saying. And they fought a can opener. Anyway, so yeah, that concludes this matchup. Hopefully, you guys can determine a winner for us here, because we've been going back and forth on this. There is one thing, and you guys are gonna see it, and it's terrifying as hell. So I'm gonna show you. This is gonna be my final point. I'm gonna sneak it in here, but check it out right now. Scary ass shit, right? Okay, he doesn't know, but he will. But the point is, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Please go check out Dr. Movie 91. We will let him go ahead and close on his thing, so let's go ahead and do that.
Once again, thank you so much to Tnashi's Movie Corner for letting me be involved with this video. Ton of fun. I've always been a huge fan of these, so thank you so much. If you don't know who I am, once again, my name is Dr. Movie 91. You can find me on YouTube. I have a channel, Dr. Movie 91. You can find me on Twitter and also on Instagram. My channel consists of a little bit of everything, but it's all movie related. And right now, I'm actually hosting the BlueTuber Awards. If you want to know more about that, stop by my channel, say hi, check out the video, and as always, take care and happy watching.
Cool. Yes, hopefully you enjoyed this video. So click that like button, share, subscribe to my channel, and watch my vids. Brad will be back, won't you?
Yep, I'll be back for our next matchup.
Yep, I'm not going to beat him up too bad.
Oh, you think you beat me up? Huh?
Yeah, I didn't say that. Look, dude, my guy has a hammer, okay? You know what time it is.
No, you didn't say it first time.
You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this.
Okay, and as far as the next matchup goes, we're going to do a little sneak peek here at the end, so please pay attention to that. That'll do it for now, and until next time,
Peace.
damn straight.
Chicken nugget.